Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and this is Wednesday, I believe, November the 11th. That is correct. And today was similar to yesterday. It's a little less rangy. Notice that we're trending more and we're below the EMA or above the EMA more. Yesterday we were continually back and forth across, which is more of a range day, but this is more of a trend. We had a big trend down, a correction, and then a second leg down. This would have been your measured move. There's your first leg. And so I'd be looking for a second. And where does that put you? A perfect measured move back down to the lower trend channel line. We didn't get there before the end of the day. This one's a little flatter than the first one was. Not much, but it's slightly. It started out strong, just like this one did. And late in the afternoon, it just kind of slowed down. It didn't quite make it down to the low. Um, but that's once we started going lower, that would have been what I would be thinking we're shooting for, and that would have kept you in this all the way to the close, basically, if you wanted to try to stay in it. Um, I definitely, if I was in up here, I would have exited here um, before here, and then I would have looked to re-enter here. Some people like to just hang on and keep riding it out, but I generally don't do that. I would have also looked for leg one there and leg two here, and you can see that's a perfect measured move right before the close. And so that would have been my first target, followed by the other one that was down here. So just remember to always check those targets. It's amazing how accurate they can be. They're not 100%. You don't want to trade on them alone, but they are a very easy tool to learn, and they're a very valuable tool that really helps. Really comes in handy for your trading arsenal. But let's back out, talk about the trades, and wrap it up. Um, we got one more lesson for this week. Pretty soon, since the time has changed, I'm probably going to go back to doing Friday lessons. Um, I won't do one this Friday for sure because I'm going to be taking vacation, so I'll be off Friday, and I will not be here Monday or Tuesday. So no trading lesson Monday or Tuesday as well. So if you're looking for one on YouTube, it won't be there because I will be in New York for a couple of days, and I'm going to try to get down to Wall Street and some other things. I'm going to take my wife up there. And so anyway, no chart lessons on Friday, Monday, or Tuesday. I'll be back Wednesday. Um, Probably won't be checking much emails, so if you would just hold on your emails after tomorrow. I will work tomorrow full day. So after tomorrow, if you would, any email questions and stuff like that, please, if you would, just hold them until I get back, so I don't come back to 1,000 emails. If you want to send it to me, that's fine. I probably won't answer it probably till I get back. If I get a chance to do some stuff on the plane, I may do that, but I probably won't do much work at all while I'm up there. So I need a break. So anyway, let's talk about the trades. When I came in, we were trending up. We got a little break here, a move to a new high, it pulls back, and you get this little, notice what happens here. This is, first, look how far away we are from the EMA. Prices are way past time to pull back, but this is what I like about this trade. Notice it makes a little double top, and then it ticks higher and instantly turns and closes on its very low. If you can get your order in there, go short right there. And look at this thing go. It doesn't even check up at the EMA. If you can catch that one trade and using a runner on it, I mean, you're in this thing all day if you want to be. You're at least in it till it starts trending up. At least that's the way I would try to ride it. I probably would have exited in here somewhere and looked to re-enter. But that's my style. Some people like to get in and hang on as long as they can and ride the trend out. And as long as we're making lower lows and lower highs, that's fine. This is the first time we make higher lows, and that's when you reverse. You got two in a row. That's that reversal pattern. And this is the reversal pattern here. You shoot right through the EMA, you pull back, and you make a little double top there. It's really tempting to go short here, but and it would have worked. But I don't like this setup. There's too much congestion there. I think you're better off waiting. You don't really get a little trap up here. You don't know that this is a trend line. This just looks like congestion, and it could easily tick down right there and turn up and trap you and go the other way. So even though there's a nice move there, you cannot enter that one. But when it comes back right here and you get the failed second entry long, which is the way I treated this is a pullback first entry, pullback second entry, and it fails and turns back down, and it kind of gives you a trend line right down through there. That one, I like that one, and that turns out to be a good move. Um, then it pulls back here, and look what happened. You get a little breakout pullback short, but it breaks above this bullish bar first and turns down and goes out the other way. When it breaks out the other side, it's really close to this line, so I'm a little bit hesitant to enter with a stop there. I think you got to get in a tick or so back with a limit order. So if you can get filled on that one in that manner, I'm okay going short there. And really, I'm okay almost using a stop, but I'm not 100% sure that line was correct at the moment. I think that it was. I still think it is. Um, but it was a little bit, it just wasn't quite sure. At this point, you had to go with it because it was neatly holding everything into that point. So you just about can't use a stop there. So I hope that's clear. If it broke lower and it backed up enough to fill you a couple of ticks in where you could get out before it gets to the low, it did shoot on through, but you don't know that it's going to do that, and it won't always do that. And that's the same reason you can't go short on these. It was at one point I'm thinking, hey, maybe there is another line down here, but I was more convinced that the line was up here. I since took it off because it wasn't. Um, we never really got a break of this trend line. Actually, we do, and then we go down and end up making a new low. It does work out, but generally you expect a retest much sooner than this. But that's because there's a bigger pattern here. But a lot of times when you get an overshoot like this, you will get a reversal without a break of the trend line, and that's kind of what happened here is what it looks like. So, but once you figure out there's a bigger pattern here, and you wouldn't have got that till this high right here, so you wouldn't have got that till almost noontime. But once you figured out there's a bigger pattern here, as soon as you draw that and you drop it down, it fits right in there, and you get an equal distance of here. So you pretty much know that by that time it's correct. And but it wasn't real obvious until it turns down here. So this one's green. Then we pull back, and notice you get a little second entry short here. I would have liked it better if it could have ticked higher there, but there's a reason it can't go higher. That it's finding strong selling right in here, and we're likely to push down to this line at least one more time, and it just shoots right on through. So this turns out to be another good trade. Pulls back here, makes a new low, and then bounces. Now I got a question right here. Somebody asked me why this second entry short failed here, but he didn't have his trend channel drawn properly. He was drawing his somehow like this right here. And that somewhat fits there. But see, you notice you're getting your bounces here. It doesn't fit as nicely to me. It fits the lower end better, but generally your trends are going to start off but that's how he had his drawn, and then he went short here on the second entry short. But if you had yours drawn like that, which I think that's how he had his drawn, if you did that, notice you're not getting down to your trend lines right here. That's your first clue. On mine, it's an overshoot. If you drew it this way, you're not quite getting there yet. So that means you're either going to come up short over here that amount, or you're probably going to overshoot at that amount. So that's your first clue is, hey, I better not go short right here. But the main one, notice how you hit the EMA, you pull back, and then you push through. And then you come back down. But by the time it breaks lower, look at all those bars stacked up. There's 3 of them there in a row. This one's a doji. They've all got stems on each side. That's another clue. It's real subtle, but it's like, hey, and this is not a perfect signal bar. It's an inside bar. This is an inside bar to this bar. You're just going sideways. Look how flat the EMA got right there. That's not a good place to enter. you better just sit tight and see what happens. And it breaks lower and fails. And so now you got a failed second entry short and a trap. You definitely want to reverse right there if you got trapped there. And if you didn't, you want to enter there. And then it pulls back and gives you a little breakout pull back long here and another bullish bar. Go long. That's one you can add on or go long to. And then it pulls back again here, breaks lower, and bounces right off that trend line. Another bullish bar. I like going long there. It's a little, by now we're finding resistance on this midline, so this one makes me a little leery here. I think you'd be better off to wait on the breakout pullback to see if it's going to go higher. And you do get a little breakout pullback long here. You'd have to wait on this signal bar, and then you got a little double top, so it's getting a little risky entering there. But it's your first break, so you're probably going to make a new high, but that might only be a tick or two, and then it turns down. So you got to be real careful with that one. I marked that one green. Turns out to be a great trade, but you don't know that in advance, and you just kind of have to ride that one out. And then notice what happens up here. We bounce off the other side. We go a little bit lower. There's probably a midline in there. I didn't draw it. You don't really necessarily need it, but you can see there it is. I like to make my midline a little lighter. And it pulls back, hits the midline, and goes up. I don't think you want to go long there. You don't know this trend line's up here, really. Most likely you don't know it's up there. It'd be really difficult to find. There's probably some ways to get to it, but you're probably not looking at it. You're just following this. But you got your break here, and you've already moved. Look how far. You don't want to be entering this far away from the EMA. So just sit tight. And this thing turns up, breaks higher, turns down. Just go short right there on the stop. And you're probably coming back at least to the trend line, probably to the EMA. And you know this trend line, notice how it pushed through, pulled back, tested it, and then turned down. And this turns out to be as good as, it's almost like a repeat pattern of this trade. And it turns out to be just as good a trade. Look, it may even be better. Look how it shoots right through the EMA, pulls back, tests it, and then turns down again. And this is you actually got a first entry long there, and then you get a second entry long there. So that's a trap, a failure. And it's about 2 measured legs down, so there's going to be a lot of people fishing for a bottom. And you're not that far away from the EMA here either, though. And so just go short there. And another easy scalp. And then we kind of go sideways. But you got a second entry short right here. That's not a really good signal bar. It's kind of a neutral signal bar. But I still liked it to the downside because I was looking for the measured move. And we do have 2 legs back here. And you've got a bunch of highs across here. I don't have my line. Let me put my line on here where you can see it. You can see those highs across there. I actually had my line right there. And that's a failed break higher. This is not a kind of, it is a trading range. You can see it right there. We're just kind of going sideways again, but the overall bias is still down because of the bigger pattern, which you should be able to see now. And you get a failed break higher, and it turns down. You draw your trend line there, and you drop it down. It looks like it's fitting pretty good, and it does end up being in play all the way down. But that got you into the 2 o'clock hour. You don't want to take anything after that. But this one's a little more subtle. It's real close to being green, but because it's a failed break out of a double, triple top there, trading range, it fits the rules to go short there. And the overall bias is somewhat down. We've started back down again, so still got a downward bias. And this is really the first break of this channel here, first close outside. This one's real. This one's so close here. You might can think that, hey, maybe that's a close outside, but it's so close, I'd probably want some more, a little more evidence that we've had a close outside, and that doesn't come till here, and you get 2 legs up, and it moves to a new low. But the bigger pattern is this 2-tiered channel, and it just stays in play. This was just kind of a little breather here in between those 2 measured legs that I showed you earlier. Once you started lower again on that failed break higher right there, you're looking for a measured leg, and we got it to the tick. You can see that. And that was pretty much it for the day. So again, it's even though this looks more range-like or very similar to yesterday range-like, look at the difference what prices are doing yesterday. Look how they're swinging back and forth above and below the EMA. That's a range. Look what's happening here. All the way down, we're below the EMA. All the way up, we're above the EMA. Those are trends. And then all the way down, we're below the EMA, except for right here where we were in a little bit of a range for just a moment. And that's just a midpoint for two legs, and you got two measured legs. And we're all below the EMA here, so we're trending again. So it's different. It's slightly different, even though it looks the same. So make sure you understand that. And not much else we can say about today. So, but anyway, the trader that asked me to talk about this, there's some subtle clues there. It's not something an inexperienced person is probably going to notice, other than the congestion. But this one looks a little congested too. So, but it's in a little different context. So, so the congestive part doesn't always come into play. But no, you got to kind of put the clues together. Notice how we're not getting above the EMA here. We're all below it. Here we push through. That's your first clue. Hey, we may be going to reverse, and then you see the congestion. Well, you better stay out. And if you did get trapped in here, there's nothing you can do but either exit or reverse. And a failed second entry in a situation like this, it's going to trap some people. So, and people are going to exit. So I'd jump in there. If I didn't get in there, I'd definitely get in here. And if I did get in here, I'd add on right here. So hope that's clear. In this case, if you're going to go short here, you want a perfect setup. You want a big bearish reversal type bar that makes a lower low or something here, or that breaks higher and traps some people and then turns down. You need more than the fact that you're pushing through that EMA there. You need a little more than that. So, and that's about it. So I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to wrap up the week tomorrow. Just a reminder, no chart lesson Friday, Monday, or Tuesday. I'll be on vacation. So, but I'm going to wrap it up for now. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.